Hi, welcome to CastAndLoose Living Room. I'm Lynne Marie Rosenberg. I'm here today with Aneesh Sheth. Hi, Aneesh. Hi. Aneesh is an actress, singer, activist, writer, and producer. When I asked Aneesh what we know her for, she said loitering at the Public Theater. But more specifically, you might know her from Southern Comfort, the Mobile Unit's production of Twelfth Night, and pretty much any developmental reading or workshop that has happened there in recent memory. You might not know her stunning turn as orphan number 31 in Oliver when she was 11 years old. Were there actually over 30?
There was a lot of damn kids.
It could have been like my fifth grade production of Peter Pan, where like half the fifth grade class was Indians.
Oh.
Which, like, let's not go back there. The budding seeds of CastAndLoose, of me on my little xylophone playing Tinkerbell thinking, there's something wrong with what's happening. No. When I asked Aneesh what sort of problems in casting she'd like to talk about today, in addition to everything, she specifically mentioned trans identity and the discrimination and stereotypes she has experienced therein. The problem is, Aneesh has read every one of the trans breakdowns I've previously posted on my Tumblr because she is one of an incredible roster of writers creating pieces for my upcoming CastAndLoose live show at Joe's Pub about this very subject. So, I did some trolling on the internet and found some new ones that you have not yet seen. Now, spoiler alert, if you're getting very excited for the August show and you don't want to hear these new breakdowns until then, turn this video off, go buy your tickets for the show at Joe's Pub's website, and then watch this video in September. You can expect content makers to be deeply confused about gender identity.
Willie, Jake's husband, artist, model moody, neurotic, huge ego, artist, transgender, man to woman.
But a husband.
Right.
I have to say, model moody is my new favorite turn of phrase.
I think I'm going to just start using model moody.
I think we're both model moody.
Both model moody. Are you kidding? I have questions about this.
I mean, if we start asking questions now, we're going to be here all day. The content makers are confused about race as well.
Transgender Asian woman, female, 18 to 55 years old, Caucasian. Wait.
Yeah. No, you read it right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it might just be Emma Stone.
Or ScarJo.
Or ScarJo.
There we go.
ScarJo could play this.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, this
She's
is a
got
perfect
this, right?
role.
This is actually perfect for her. Asian and trans. Oh, done.
Oh, call us, ScarJo. We'll get you hooked up now that you've said no to that other role. There's one thing content makers seem to be quite certain of, and that is that all trans women are sex workers.
Oh, great. Hooker. Transgender female, of course. Mm-hmm. In her 20s to 30s. She works outside of Casey's massage parlor and lewdly yells at passerby about her private parts, belittling those who ignore her. Granted, like, sex work is a part of the community, and, like, those narratives are also important, but, like, this is so reductive.
Yeah.
They're humans like everybody else. You can't reduce them to their genitals and this, like, trope of okay.
Well, right, and their identity becomes the entire butt of the joke.
Exactly.
It's similar to Christina Pitter and I. The last episode I released, we're talking about how being fat becomes just the punchline. Right. It's just the fundamental punchline.
That's all they are.
That's all they are. Right. As all women must face in the industry, get ready for some mommy issues.
Oh, I love those. Roma, 30s, transgender woman, Latina, beautiful and seductive. She works at a sex club and catches the eye of our hero who thinks she's his mother.
Go to therapy, don't write stuff. And lastly, since you're a woman of color as well, I thought we'd close out with a stellar role for an Indian woman.
Oh.
And by an Indian woman, I mean they probably won't cast an Indian woman.
Kimia, female undergrad, early 20s. Drop dead gorgeous, Indian with major tude. Think a bitchy Mindy Kaling. Wears makeup to bed. She and Meredith have matching Birkin bags, courtesy of her Maharaja heritage. Open to all ethnicities. Like,
all
where
of
do
this.
I even start
I
with
know.
this one? And why wasn't I called in for it? Just kidding. Just kidding.
You don't want that job?
I don't want this job.
Does Mindy Kaling is that the only
The only-
reference we
oh.
can possibly think of?
Do you know how many times people have compared me to Mindy Kaling? Oh my God, you look like her sister. Oh my God, you're just like Mindy Kaling. No, I'm not.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, you are nothing like Mindy.
I'm nothing like Mindy Kaling.
It's almost like you're your own human being.
How novel.
Just kidding. We need to
kidding.
put you in a box so that we understand you better.
Thanks
So-
for putting me through that.
You're welcome. Yeah,
what
listen,
friends are for.
you agreed. You
I
agreed to do this.
I was a willing participant.
Aneesh has
I
done.
consented.
Aneesh has done 2 of my shows. She's about to do a 3rd. She knows what she's getting
I
into.
know what I'm getting into.
So something you mentioned when I asked what you wanted to talk about
Mm-hmm.
today was being told you are not trans enough.
Yes. So if y'all didn't know, trans people have a certain look. That's
Oh.
sarcasm.
Only one.
Just in case the people watching this were like, is she serious? Sarcasm. There's only one look that all trans people have.
Right.
So I went in, this was back in 2015, when I will say that trans people did not have the kind of voice that they have today. And a role came across for me for a trans South Asian woman. And it was the story of a movie about this woman who discovers she has a son. And when in my history of my 20 years in this business have I ever seen a role for an Indian trans woman? Never. The answer is 0. Super excited. I came highly recommended to the team, had a meeting with casting, went in for the callback, and then the director emailed me and said, I would like to chat with you. Chatted with me, and in the email said, your read was great, you bring such an authenticity to the performance, but you just happen to not be trans enough. I think the exact words were the character is more masculine. And I said, I'm really curious as to why you are telling this story if you are so heavily reliant on the look of this person. If you are trying to tell a really touching story, a nuanced story about a trans woman who discovers she has a child, then tell that story. And it should not matter what this trans woman looks like, just that her identity is trans and that the story you're trying to tell. But that was not what it was about. It was about sensationalizing our lives. It's about sensationalizing who we are as people. And then what was even worse was a year later, I wrote her and I asked, did you ever find anybody to fill the role? And her response was yes. I actually found somebody, and you might know who he is. I thought he brought such an authenticity to the character and was really appropriate. And they threw a cis gay man in a dress and a wig and had him shoot the movie. When roles like this come along, you really wonder what kind of thought process people like this have. Like, why are you writing stories like this to begin with? What is your purpose? If you're just trying to use our identities to sensationalize and make money for yourself, then you're doing a disservice to everybody.
Now, so one of the things that comes up often in this show is that one of the best ways to approach fixing these issues in the industry is writing your own content. And I
Yes.
know you are writing your own content. What are you working on right now?
So I have been developing a pilot since 2012.
Yeah.
And we did like a little shoot of it as a web series. And originally it was meant to be a 10-episode web series, but I've kind of revamped it now into an hour pilot, and that's what my main focus is on, just like fixing the pilot.
I mean, this is it. This is the answer, right?
This is
I
the
mean, it's
answer.
just it has to be you telling your own story,
Right.
and
Because
then
nobody else is.
because nobody else is,
Yeah.
and then opening up through that process space for other human beings
Exactly.
that are not being represented right now.
Exactly.
So I'm so excited for the work that you're doing.
I'm excited too.
And you also have some things you can't even tell us about going on right now.
I can't give any specifics, but I'm shooting a recurring on a Netflix series right now through the end of the year.
You heard it here first. There's a lot going on for you, and not to make you the the icon for population or community, but it is seeing the successes you've had this year has given me a lot of hope of like, oh my God, maybe we really are taking steps forward as an entertainment industry.
Yeah. You just
So.
gotta like keep going.
Well, as my therapist says, if you keep beating your head against a brick wall, eventually the wall cracks.
One or the other.
Or you die.
Or you die.
One is going to happen before the other. We don't know which. I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Take care of each other and be professional.